The next day at work, Lola couldn't concentrate. She kept thinking about the email, the bracelet, the flowers. Who was this person? And what did they really want? During lunch, she decided to confide in Alex. "Can I ask you something weird?" Lola started, trying to sound casual. "Of course, what's up?" Alex said, looking genuinely concerned. She told him everything. The emails, the gifts, the feelings of being watched. Alex listened intently, his expression serious. "That's not normal, Lola. You should be careful. This person sounds obsessive," Alex warned. Lola nodded, but part of her didn't want to believe it. Could this really be more dangerous than she thought? That evening, another email arrived, but this one was different. It wasn't sweet or romantic. It was possessive. "Why are you telling people about us? We have something special, Lola. No one else needs to know. Be careful, or you will regret it." Lola froze. The tone had shifted, and the message was clear. The admirer wasn't just watching her. He was threatening her. She immediately called Tolu, her voice shaking. "Tolu, I don't think this is just some harmless crush anymore. I think I'm in trouble." Lola decided it was time to take things seriously. After the latest threatening email, she headed straight to the police station the next morning, sitting across from a rather bored-looking officer. She explained her situation, showing him the emails and detailing the unwanted gifts. The officer, Inspector Uche, was calm as he reviewed the information, but his expression grew more serious with every email he read. "This isn't something to take lightly," he finally said. "We are going to need to look into this. Do you have any idea who it could be?" Lola shook her head. "That's the problem. I've tried to figure it out, but I don't just know." Inspector Uche leaned forward. "We will assign an officer to monitor the situation closely. In the meantime, if you notice anything suspicious, report it immediately." Lola left the station feeling a little more reassured, but the anxiety was still there. Who was watching her so closely, and what did they really want? Back at the office, Tolu noticed how shaken Lola was and decided to take her out for drinks after work to take her mind off things. They went to their favorite bar in GRA, a trendy spot where the music was low and the ambience was classy. But Tolu, unusually bubbly and light-hearted, seemed distracted that night. She kept checking her phone and glancing around the bar as if she was looking for someone. "Tolu, is everything okay?" Lola asked, concerned. Tolu hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just thinking about something." She quickly changed the topic, but Lola couldn't help but feel that something was off with her best friend. Later that night, as they were leaving the bar, Lola noticed a black sedan parked across the street. The windows were tinted, and the car didn't have a license plate on it. "Tolu, do you see that car?" Lola whispered, her heart racing. Tolu glanced at the car and shrugged. "It's probably just someone waiting for a friend. Let's go." But as they walked down the street, Lola couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The next day at work, Lola found another email in her inbox, but this time it wasn't from her secret admirer. It was from an unknown email address, and the subject line simply read, "You are in danger." She opened it, her heart pounding. "Lola, you don't know me, but you need to be careful. Your secret admirer isn't who you think he is. He's dangerous. Trust no one, not even the people closest to you." Lola stared at the email, her heart racing. Who was this? And what did they really mean by dangerous? Could her admirer really be a threat to her life? She immediately forwarded the email to Inspector Uche, who replied within minutes, telling her to come to the station after work. As Lola left the office later that evening, she felt a growing sense of dread. Every shadow seemed threatening, every face a potential suspect. She could feel someone was watching her, but she couldn't tell from where. At the police station, Inspector Uche informed Lola that they had initiated surveillance around her apartment and office. They also requested her permission to track the source of the anonymous emails. This had gone beyond a mere admirer, Inspector Uche said. We are dealing with someone who knows your schedule, your habits, and your movements. He gave her the number of a direct contact at the station, a detective named Kemi, who will be on the case. Call her if anything feels off, even in the slightest. As Lola left the station, she felt a heavy weight on her shoulders. Her life, once filled with routine and normalcy, had been thrown into chaos. She wondered how long she could keep up before something terrible happened. The surveillance team wasn't able to identify anything unusual for days, and Lola began to feel relaxed slightly. However, one night, as she got home, she found a letter under her apartment door. No one was supposed to know where she lived, except for her closest friends. The letter was handwritten, not typed like the emails. It read, I warned you not to involve the police. You've made a terrible mistake. Now I am coming for you. Lola's knees buckled. How could this person know about the police involvement? She hadn't told any other except Tolu and Alex. She immediately called Detective Kemi, her hands shaking. Kemi arrived with 2 officers and swept the building for any signs of tampering. But everything seemed in order. The letter, however, was a chilling reminder that her stalker was always watching. Days passed, and while the emails continued, the stalker made a mistake. One of the messages contained a photo of Lola at her favorite coffee shop in GRA, taken just a few hours before she received the email. But in the background of the photo, partially visible through the shop's window, was a reflection of a man's hand holding the camera. Detective Kemi analyzed the image. Using the reflection to enhance the figure's hand, the ring on the man's finger was distinct, a silver band with an intricate design. Lola talked back to the people in her life. The ring seemed oddly familiar, but she couldn't quite place it. Was it someone she worked with? Someone she saw regularly? After seeing the ring in the photo, Lola started scrutinizing everyone she knew. At work, she watched her colleagues more closely than ever. Could it be Alex, the charming colleague she had confided in? Or Tunde, the quiet accountant who had always seemed a little too interested in her? Her mind kept circling back to Tolu. Her best friend had been acting strange lately. But surely, Tolu wouldn't betray her like this. Would she? Lola confronted Tolu one evening after work, but Tolu seemed genuinely confused. Why would you even think it is me, Lola? I've been by your side through this whole thing. Lola apologized, feeling embarrassed, but deep down she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off with Tolu. After the confrontation with Tolu, Lola felt a mix of relief and suspicion. Tolu's reaction seemed genuine, but her gut kept telling her that there was something deeper going on. That night, as she lay in bed, pieces of the puzzle began to haunt her. Suddenly, a thought crossed her mind. The ring. She had seen it before, recently. But where? It hit her like a flash of lightning. At Tolu's birthday party a few weeks back, one of her friends, a quiet guy named Kunle, had worn a similar silver ring. Kunle was a software developer who had met Tolu through a mutual friend. Lola didn't know much about him, but there was something unnerving about how he kept to himself at the party, occasionally glancing in her direction. Could Kunle be the secret admirer? He had access to computers and could easily track her online. The more she thought about it, the more it made sense. But how would she confront him without putting herself in more danger?